Good day, folks. This is your hillbilly historian from the hills of East Tennessee coming to you about something you will never ever see in your high school or college history books. In fact, I have never seen a historian anywhere write about what I am fixing to tell you tonight. This is a very interesting story. You know, we've had blacks fight in all of the American wars. The American Revolution, against the Indians, many Indian wars, Civil War, they fought largely for the North. They did a lot of service for the Southern military. Some fighting for the South, but not like in the North. And they were big time in our Spanish-American War. They really did a great job against the Cubans down in Cuba and the Spanish down in Cuba. They were real big in World War I, World War II, and Korean War. And they carried a large part of the weight in Vietnam. But did you know they fought on the side of the French? American blacks fought on the side of the French in Vietnam in 1953 and 54. You won't read about this in the media, the press, or anywhere. When Eisenhower was president and the French were getting the crap kicked out of them over in Vietnam by Ho Chi Minh and the Viet Minh, and they were not doing well. And we still had segregated units stationed in Germany. And about 3 a.m. one morning in 1953, these blacks were awakened, told to pack their duffel bags. They were loaded on trucks, hauled across Europe into France. We still had air bases in Paris at that time. They were loaded on planes and flown to Hanoi. They got off those planes and they fought against the Viet Minh on the side of the French for almost 2 years. When the French lost at Dien Bien Phu, got their butts kicked like the wussies they are, and blacks were marched, American blacks were marched back to Hanoi, loaded on planes, flown to Paris. They were loaded on trucks. They went right back to those same barracks in Germany, got off them trucks, and went to bed as if they had never been gone. Amazing, right? Now, if a black had opened their mouth, the media would have ignored it. The United States would have ignored it. Eisenhower would have had the military shut them up really good. I had a friend who fought over there in 1953 and 54. And he said after he got back, he said he had friends that were killed in Vietnam by the Viet Minh. In war, people get killed. And he had friends that got killed over there. When he came back and then came home, he visited the families of some of those friends that died in Vietnam. And their families were told that their sons were killed in accidents, vehicle accidents or some kind of accidental explosion or something like that. Most of the funerals were closed casket. They didn't even let the families look at their children after they were sent back to them. the remains were sent back to them. Because when they were killed in Vietnam, they were flown to Germany, packaged up and shipped from Germany to their families in the United States. Now, this is horrifying. This was under Eisenhower, who should have known better, who should have stuck by these Americans. He should not have sent them to die for the French. And he should not have done it in such a secret way. This is horrifying. This is right out of the Dulles brothers, who were part of the deep state swamp back in the 50s and 60s, and they were corrupt and crooked as anybody could be. And people had to die for our false and fake and lying government. I mean, it's just sad, some of the things that come out about what our government does to its own people, its own citizens. For sorry trash like the French, it's amazing that we have to live with all this stuff and put up with such a lying, corrupt government. I thank God every day that Donald Trump was elected president, especially this second time. He learned his lesson his first term. He found out there's a lot of Republicans you cannot trust. And I hated to learn that Eisenhower was one of them that could not be trusted with the truth. And this is a sad situation that our government lies to us, that they would send these black boys over there knowing, in 1953 and 54, a black couldn't raise his hand and speak out. They just were not allowed to do that. And now they had to be sent over there to fight when they didn't volunteer for that either. They were ordered to pack their bags and get on them trucks and fly over there and fight and die. They did not. There was no draft, no nothing. They were just forced to go and die, not for their country, but for the French. And a bunch of trashy, wussy French who couldn't stand on their own 2 feet. And they got their butts kicked as well as the French got theirs kicked in Vietnam. And the American boys, good American boys, had to die over there. Good American boys. And that our government would never tell the truth, never admit to the truth. But this, folks, actually happened. And this is your honest, forthright, hillbilly historian telling you like it really is. Signing off. Bye-bye.
Well, they were telling me straight out, those same customers that are getting victimized by China, they're the same companies that are coming in to tell us, don't do anything to harm the relationship with China. We want to continue doing business there. We want to continue making money there. We need that market.